Alright guys, so what I'm doing here today, I figured I'd make a video, is installing this camera I got on Amazon here. And what I'm gonna do, I already did a little bit of work off camera here, is I took it out of the box and I kind of bent it into this shape a little bit. And you'll have to get your own double back tape, but I did that. Put it on there, and just to show you, I used a razor knife and already cut some of this out so that hopefully it won't pick up too much dust and dirt and look too nasty when I put it in there. I'm using this little handheld monitor that I have from my job, and basically the plan is kind of use that V shape to sit down into that V shape right there. A little hard with one hand, but sink it down in there nice and tight like that. Looks pretty good from the front. And you can see up here that it actually I'll need to adjust it a little bit. I've got it a little crooked, not easy with one hand here, but it should line up just about like that. So you can just barely see the front bumper, and you can actually see pretty good out. I tested it from the driver's seat. I can see pretty much, if you're looking at those bricks on the wall there, I can see those from the driver's seat. I can see that top brick that we're looking at. So that's pretty good. And then if I look over here, my far foot over here is right in front of the tire, and then same thing with the other side. So I'm gonna get this thing double back taped in place here. Hopefully that's gonna hold up. If not, I thought about some sort of rivet plan or something, but it's a real tight area to work in. So hopefully that works for a while, and we'll go from there. One more time, just to give you an idea of the shape that I bent this into. You can kind of see I bent the bracket into a V, and then I just kind of held it in there and folded it out as needed. I did need to, you can untwist the two sections of the camera here to adjust kind of like the clockwise rotation of the camera itself, of this camera itself, and that worked pretty good, just to get it all lined up just right. All right, now with the hood open, you got to pop all these little body panel things out. There's a bunch of them here. I already got most of them out for you, but what you do is, if you have one of these little body panel trimmers or pullers, you kind of get it in there, and then you can snake it into the other side. Just kind of work it in, and then once you get it in, you can lean it back, pop it, and then you go under the whole thing, actually right down there, and it'll just come right out. And they should be pretty easy to do. You can reuse them. If you don't have one of these tools, you can just use a screwdriver or your pocket knife or whatever, but the tool really makes it really easy. If I can find, I bought this whole set, not this thing, on Amazon, and if I can find it, I will include a link to it. Actually came with two of these, but I guess I lost one. But yeah, I'll include a link to it if I can find this set. Really nice. All right, so we've got that pulled off. Don't worry about that. We got this off of here. Good to go. Now in order to get the wire through here, and I have the active shutters on this truck, which are a nightmare in and of themselves. That's a different problem. But it means there's not a ton of clearance in there. But what I think I can do is, looking up here, you can see this piece is pretty solid, but if you reach through down kind of here, you can see this actually moves a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this nice little ball bearing chain, and then this is a little magnet that I can kind of bend and do what I want. I'm hoping to fish it through with that, basically drop that string down through and then grab it right here, and then I can tie my wires onto the chain and yank it back out. So let's see if we can do that. Just gonna, don't want it in the all right, in the gasket there. I want it out on this side. Drop it down like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, see that? We can see it in there. And if I can find it, I know I didn't buy this on Amazon, but if I can find something similar, I will include a link to that as well. So I'll just come through right here, grab that with the chain, and boom. All right, so now all I got to do is tape my wires onto this, pull the other side of my chain, and I can get these wires up to a usable location inside the engine bay. All right, so I got it through. Pretty straightforward there. Like I said, I just fished that through, taped it onto my ball bearing chain here. Oh, yeah, let me give you a little better angle here. And then you just kind of reach down in here and flex this out of the way. It had to flex a little more than what I would like, but I mean, no damage. It's just wasn't an easy thing to pull through. And then yeah, pretty straightforward. Pretty easy. You don't have to tape it on here that well, you know, just anything so it holds on to that. You're gonna have to finagle the connections through there anyway. So now the plan is going to be, I think I'm gonna follow this, which is the release for the hood latch. Follow that nicely along here. I'll route it down through, and we'll go all the way along back to here, where then we're gonna jump off from here and we're gonna go through this boot. Now yours probably won't have this big red cable. That's for the subwoofer in the cab that I already have, but we're gonna go right through that same spot right there. And I don't know if I'm actually gonna do this right now because I've got a few other things that I want to run all at once, but I am going to test this camera and make sure it's doing what I want it to do. So that boot, if you look there, then when we come over here, and yeah, I know this truck is an absolute disaster, but let's see, this phone is not gonna let me turn on the light. So, but if you look, there is this fuse box right here, and you can actually remove it using this bolt, and then I think there's two other ones, and then it'll kind of move out of the way. But you can reach through there like that, and you can actually see right here, just barely. You might be able to see it, but you can see my where I've got that power cable from the subwoofer going through there. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see that right there. It comes through, and we're just gonna basically bring that down, around, and through, and we're gonna bring it over to the head unit. And well, mine's a bit of a disaster right now, but I'll show you what I've got going with that. All right, so now I've got it powered up here, and what I did is my truck has these LED fog lights, but I double checked the voltage on them, make sure they were getting 12 volts. So if you have those, you can do that as well. I powered the camera off of the fog lights for two main reasons. First one being that I just don't want this thing on all the time, because I do a lot of road trips with this truck, and I just don't want it to be powered on and just baking out here in the Arizona sun for no reason for hours on end. So That's the first reason, and it's, you know, one of these cheap Amazon cameras. I just don't trust the longevity of it with doing that. The other reason is that it was obviously easy. It's right here. Just needed to connect it to the fog lights and good to go. And I should be able to pretty easily turn it on and off using the fog light button, and yeah, no issues with that. So let's just get some stuff wrapped up here, and I'll show you. Actually, let me show you down here. What you have to do is from down here, you can see I connected this on, and now this connector was not easy. There's actually a little red tab that you have to slide back, and my little tab broke, which I'm not really worried about, because then in addition to that, there's also this little push clip, which I don't know if you can see. So that's still gonna hold everything together, still have a nice watertight connection, and you'll be good to go. I made my connections right here using some Scotchlok. They used to be called UG connectors. I forget what they're called now, but they're Scotchlok, and you can look for UG. If not, I think it actually says on here. It's like maybe it's coming out in the video, but anyways, that makes a nice, it's got like a waterproof goo in there, and it just kind of connects in line, doesn't disrupt this power. Just a nice way to tap into things. It was pretty difficult to work up in here, get everything untaped from the factory harness and all that, but I'm gonna put this back on around here, tape it all back up as nicely as possible, and then reconnect them. All right, so now we're wrapping up here. I still need to come through. I'm gonna clean all this up with zip ties and stuff. I just don't have it with me at the moment. And ran the line over. All gonna be neat and clean, tight against the wall. Now you can see, I told you what we're supposed to do is, it's gonna go through here, but I need to run a bunch of things through there, and I don't wanna mess with this boot because it'll be a nightmare if you actually damage it to the point that it needs to be replaced. So it's better to do it all at once. In the meantime, I ran through here, which you can kind of see like that, right through there. And then this is, I'm not proud of this, but it is working. Came right through the door jamb, tight through there, and then up and over. All that needs to get rerun, probably in the next week or so. And then, here we go. I've got this radio installed, which I haven't made the video yet, but we'll show you. I will work on making a video for the installation of this. So I just come here, select camera, and there you go, looking good. And if I come over here, take my fog lights, turn those off, camera goes away, fog lights on, camera comes right back. That should do it. I think installation complete. Thanks for watching. This is my first ever DIY video, so if you've got any suggestions or any other questions you have or whatever, or you just want to tell me that my truck is an absolute disaster, feel free to do that. So thanks again for watching. And just thought I'd throw a quick video in of how smooth it is going down the road here. Seems to work really, really well.